start the class. The last class we have seen the relational data type, okay, and today we are going to see the operators. We are going to see the next one called as logical operator. So what is a logical operator? See, logical operators are, if you check it out, how we will apply the logical operation is by using an and, or, and not. Okay, so we will get a bit faster, and after the class you have some time, right? You can raise all your queries and we can clarify all the doubts. Okay, especially the people who are very new to the programming, as we are doing the same way we are going to do it. Of the logical operator is it will combine the output of two or more than two conditional statement. Okay, so it will combine output of two or more than two conditional statement. What is a conditional statement is any statement where the comparison operator is there or the relational operator is rational operator is there, then that is called as conditional statement. So for example, if I'm saying like 100 is greater than 50, yes, this is a conditional statement. A statement which is having a condition in that. This comes under the category of conditional statement. Okay. So this is like a conditional statement. Now, when you are comparing the output of the two or more than two conditional statements, that is nothing that can be done with the help of a logical operator. Now, for example, this is a conditional statement. Yes. Now, if I am having one more conditional statement like this, this is one conditional statement, this is another conditional statement. So when you are comparing the output of these conditional statements, then that can be done with the help of logical operator. Now, what is the output of the first one? True, right? This one is true. And what is the output of next one? This is also true. Now, when you are comparing these two with an AND operator or operator, or like these are the ones you are going to use it to compare the output of the conditional statements. That is called as, this is done by a logical operator. Okay. Now, how this works is like when you take it as an AND, you take it as an AND. So the total output over here is true. The total output is over here is true. Now, if any one is false over here, if any one is false, then the total output will be false. Now, if this is false, like for example, I'm giving it as 100 is equals to 200. Now, this one is what? This is a false statement. So this one is false. False. Okay. Now, when the statement, when both the statements are true, we are using the AND logical operator, then the output. If any statement is false, then total output will be false. Now, this is we are dealing with only two statements. Okay, see this. If I am dealing with like maybe 10 statements, 10 conditional statement also. If one statement is false, total outcome will be false. Okay, whenever you are using and, whenever you are using and, so if one statement is false, then total output will be false. Now, like this, if I am having three statements, just imagine. This is first one, this is second one, and third one, I'm taking it as true. Okay, 100 is equals to 100. Okay. Now, there are three conditional statements over here. You know that what is a conditional statement? There are three conditional statements. The output of this conditional statement is true, and this one is false. Okay. The last one is true. and all of them are connected with a logical operator called as AND over here. So whenever you are using a multiple conditional statement, when you are comparing or connecting with the AND operator, if any one is false, total outcome will be the false only. So here total outcome will be the false. There is a table is there for this, especially they use a table to understand this. Let me do that one so that it is easy for you. Now, if I'm using an AND over here, this is true and this is false. And down, if I'm saying true, and here it is false. So then true and true is true and true is true will be getting it over here. And true and false is false. And false and true is again false. And false is false again. Sorry, I'm using the wrong false. Okay, guys. So this is the table which comes into the picture. The thing what you have to understand over here is whenever using the AND operator, all the statements, all the conditional statements output should be true. Now it works on the output of the conditional statement. Remember this, it works on the output of the conditional statement. Now, if you are going to take the same thing with the OR operator, it is exactly reverse of the AND operator over here. How it will be? Sorry. This one. Okay. Now, if I am using an OR operator over here, now here also OR. Okay. So how it will be working is OR operator exactly reverse of the AND. If at least one conditional statement is true, then entire outcome will be true. Okay. If one conditional statement outcome is true, the entire outcome is true. Now here you check it out over here. This is true and this is false, right? At least one should be true. Total output will be true over here. Say this. Now in this case, here it is true, here it is false, here it is true. Now total outcome will be true over here when you use the OR, not the AND, you use the OR over here when I'm using the OR. Okay, guys, the statement will be something like this. Let me copy and finish it off. Anyone having the doubt, please ask me the question after the class, then I can re-explain you all people because we are doing a bit quickly over here. Now here OR will be coming up. True or true is true, guys. Let me remove this part, all of them. Okay. Now true or true is true. And true or false is equals to true again. Now false or true is equals to again true. And false or false is equals to false. Now in this, the thing what you have to observe is the only situation where you will get the false is when all the statements are false. Okay, if any one statement is true, the outcome will be true, guys. Now a simple example, like if you're having 100 conditional statements, 99 of them are false and only one is true, then the total outcome will be coming as true over here. Remember that. Okay. So this is the way it will be working out. This is a very common thing. We must have done it in the academics also. So there is something called as NOT. NOT is just, it will reverse the total outcome. Now here, what will be the outcome we are going to get it over here? Now you just check it out. I'm taking it. I'm putting as a inside this. Now, output of this one will be true. Just see this, whatever the inside the brackets is there, right? This part is true, right? Because it is OR operator and if any one is true, the total outcome should be true over here. Now, this one is true. The outcome of this one is true. Okay, this is true. But when I'm using the NOT, to reverse the total outcome, it is coming true means it will give us a false. Okay, now you can check it out. This one total input is true. But when I'm using the not, you are going to get it false. This is a common thing, guys. Now let's see this one. Actually, there is one more important thing we will be looking at, this logical operator. So okay, I'll keep it as nothing is there. Now let me see this over here. Santosh, here, before starting of the class, we are going to check it out with a person who is opening up the video from your prospects. And when they check it out, they will be continuously listening it. Once there is any problem, immediately they will raise a point and they will come down and check it out. So I don't think so there is a problem with our end. I'm not sure about that. Let me check it out with that. Okay, I will check it out, Santosh. I will check it out and I will let you know on that. If there is any issue with this, I will definitely look into this. Yeah, Nazia, it is correct. What you have done, it is. Yeah, assignment is correct. Now, guys, let's do a simple thing over here. I'm doing a conditional statement over here. The conditional statement is 100 is greater than 200. Is it false? Right? Let me solve the truth. 100 is less than 200. Right? And I will use it as now apple is equal to apple. Right? These two are true. Now, when I look out for the result of this one, so I'm putting on all of them inside the braces over here. Now I will print the rest. Now what will be true and 2. If you check it out, the table 2 and 2 means the outcome will be coming as 2 over here. So first statement, conditional statement is true, and second conditional statement is true. The outcome will be 2 over here. Now you can check it out. You will be getting an output as true over here. Okay. Now next one is like result is equals to. I'm going to put the same. And I will add it up one more and. Okay. And I'm going to give it greater than small a. Now, this condition is false. Okay, this condition is false. ఇక్కడ వీళ్ళు కొంచెం వాయిస్ బ్లర్ గా వస్తుంది అని సంతోష్ అనే అబ్బాయి రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇది కూడా బ్లర్ గా వస్తుంది, స్క్రీన్ బ్లర్ గా వస్తుంది, వాయిస్ కూడా కరెక్ట్ రావట్లేదు. అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ అని రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. Santosh, we are going to look into that and I'll try my level best to resolve this issue. Sorry, I'm really sorry for that if you are facing any inconvenience. No, no, it is not mandatory. I'm just giving it because sometimes you can see this over here. I will be getting some notifications over there. So that's why I'm using it. You can do it from the starting line, no problem. But one thing you have to remember is you should always start coding from the first character over here. Now, you should not leave a space and you should never do it like this. This is an error. Okay? So always you should be starting the coding from the first line. It is clear? Now let's see this one, guys. Now here you see this is true, and this one is false, right? This false. Now when I run this one, we'll be getting an output. Sorry. Print rest. We'll get a false over here. Okay, clear, guys? Now, because one of the statement is false, if all of these condition statements, whenever you are using and, if one statement is false, total outcome will be false. Okay. Now let's do the OR operator over here. Now I'm going to use it. We are going to have it OR operator. I'm going to comment this one. Now I will give it as the same thing. Or both are true. Both are true. There's no problem. You will be getting an output as true only. Both are true. Now, if any one is false, then we will get it true only. This one is, I will say that is greater than. So this one is false. Both are equal, but this one is false. Now, when I do this, you will be getting it true only, because whenever you're using OR operator, if one condition statement is true, rest of all are false, still the total outcome will be true only. Now let's take the one over here. This part. Yes, come in. Now you see this, I'm using an OR over here, and here we are using an OR over here. Okay. Now this one is true, this one is true, and this one is false. What is this? OR operator. Okay, let's make this one also false. This one also I will make it as false. 100 is not equals to 200, it is false. This one is true, and this one is false. Total 2 false are there, 1 true is there. The total outcome will be true. Okay. All the 3 are true. Okay, guys. Now, when it will be false, then all of them are false. This one is false, this one is false, and this one is also false. Okay. Now, when we are having all the 3 are false, then only we will get it false whenever using a OR logical operator. Okay, guys. Now, what is a NOT is just reverse of this one. Okay, whatever the total outcome will be, it will be reversing it. Now, this total outcome, what we are getting it? False, right? This total outcome is false. Next, I'm going to apply the NOT over here. Then we are going to get it true. NOT means whatever the total outcome we are getting it from this, it will be reversed over here. So this total outcome is false, but this will be reversing it, and we are going to get true over here. Okay. Now, this is a very simple thing. Now, if you have any queries on this, the people who are not comfortable with this one, I will continue with this as quick again explanation right after the class. Okay. If anyone is having any problem with this. Now, this is a very common thing. Now, let's do it with complicated stuff. This is a very, very common thing, guys. Logical 2, I'm going to name. I didn't get the environment, the Google environment. Once I get it, I'm going to put down all these things, not to worry about. So here, what we were doing, guys, we are taking a conditional statement. So here we were taking it like India is greater than capital. Is it? Yes, it is. right? Yes, it is. Take the first character, guys, compare it, and you will get it. I is greater than A. So what is the outcome? 2. Right. Now, if I am using and, let's take it a numerical one. You should not be confused. I will say it as 100 greater than 50. Yes or no? Yes, good. Now, if I am saying it like 50 is equal to 50, what is the outcome? True, great. Total outcome is 2. I will give it as result is equals to, I will give it as true because we will be getting it to itself. There, guys. This is common, we have done it. Now, what if I am doing it like this? Values. I'm using the values 100 and 50. So we are going to get an output as no, not true nor false, Nazia. You are going to get a value over here. That is 50. Okay, 50. Now this is again an MCQ and the interview question. They will be asking whenever you have the coding round. They will definitely ask this question. Okay. Now if I am using an OR, now I'll get it 100. So what you have to understand is whenever you are comparing the two values with a logical operator. Now, if it is a logical operator is AND, then you will get always the right side value. And if the logical operator is OR, you will get the left side. Again, remember, both the values should be non-zero. Non-zero values only. When the non-zero values are there, you will see that. Okay. Now, this is 100. Okay, this is 50. They are non-zero values, right? When you are dealing with the non-zero values, then always when you are using an AND operator, let me copy this and I will do it. Result 1, I am going to give it. And this one, I will use a AND. And down one, I will use a OR. See the difference, guys. First, I am going to display the rest one. Second one, print rest 2 over here. Okay. Now here, whenever using an AND operator with the values, not the conditional statement. I'm not talking about the conditional statement. I'm talking about the values. Whenever we are using a values AND operator, logical AND, always you are going to get a right side value. What is the right side value? 50. Okay. Now, when I'm using a OR, the values, then always you are going to get a left side value. Now, these values can be anything, guys. These values can be anything. When I run it, I should get it 100, 50, and 100. Okay. Now, these values can be something like this. I can copy this, comment this. Okay. I will use it. First one is equals to, I will use it as blue in color and I will use it yellow. Which one you will get it? Yellow. Definitely you will get it yellow because these are values. We are not comparing the conditional operator. So here in this case, I am giving it as apple and 50. Can I do this? Yes, you can do it. You will get it apple. Both are this. You will get the apple. See this? First one is yellow. This one is apple. Okay. This is a common thing we have done it. Let's go with what if how the behavior changes when we are dealing with the zero, guys. Now, if one value is 0 over here, one value is 0, the other one is keeping it as 100. Now, by default, what should we have get? We have to get it. We have to get the right side value. But you're not going to get the right side value. You're always going to get the 0 over here. Wherever the 0 is there, you're going to get the 0. Let's comment this one and I will show you. I will comment this one also. I will show you the first part. Now, wherever the 0 is there, you're going to get the 0 only. Remember that. Now, if you may ask me a question over here, what if I'm going to use it another 200 over here? Huh? 0. Which way? How you are going to get? Which way you are calculating it? From left to right or right to left? Which way? Why can't you do it right to left? Check it out, the right to left. Right to left, 0. Left to right, 0. So ultimately you will be getting it 0 only. It's not mandatory you have to do it from left to right or right to left, but you will be getting it 0 over here. Now, this is how you will be doing it, guys. Now, if you are playing, like if you want to do it, now if I run it, I will show it 0 over here. 0. Okay. Now, if I am using OR over here, can I do that? Can I do the combination of OR? Okay, let me, it's too quick. Let me do it something like this. Result 1 is equal to, I'm using an empty string. Empty string. Let me do it as an and empty string. What you are going to get it out? Empty string, not the apple. 0. It is 0. Empty string means 0. Huh? So it is an integer. Empty string means. Okay. Now that is equivalent to that. Okay. Now see this, guys. What we got it? Empty string. That is not been shown over there. That is not been shown. It is an empty string. If you want to see this, you will get the empty string. Okay. Now, if you are going to do it something like this, result 2 is equals to. Okay. This is all about this one. Now, when we use it 100 or 0, 100 or 50, we are going to get it. Result 2, 100 we are going to get it. Right? Comfortable with this? We are going to get it 100. Now, when we are doing it something like this, sorry. Now, here I am using a 0. 100. Or ఏదైనా ఒక 0 ఉంటే అండ్ అన్న ఆర్ అని అనలే ఆర్ నువ్వు విన్నావు నేను అనలే ఓకే సో whenever we are using 0 in OR, so always the non-zero value, whatever it is, that is going to come down, guys. Now if I am keeping it as a 0 this side, here I am giving is 200 220, and you will get it. All non-zero values, I said it, whenever you are going to get it, non-zero values. Okay? Whenever you are using AND operator, guys, wherever the 0 is there, you are going to get the 0. Whenever you are using 0. Whenever you are using an OR operator, the non-zero value you are going to get it. Always you are going to get it a non-zero value. What is the non-zero value over here? 220. Okay. Non-zero value. Now, 22 only. Okay. Now, if I am using something like this, which one will be the output, guys? Sure. Sir, check. First, round this coin. First, take these 2. Which one you are going to get it? 22. Good. Now, then you take this one. 22. Left side value you will get it whenever using a OR. Don't get confused. 2 values are there. You are using the OR operator. Left side value you are going to get it. Okay. When any one is 0, the non-zero value you are going to get it. Okay, first compare this one. If 1 is 0, right? What is a non-zero value? 22, we got it. But in this case, who are having a values. So always we will get it a left side value whenever using an OR operator. Okay, clear? This is quickly about logical operator. Any questions, guys? Okay, now these are the ones you will be getting the in the interview. No one will ask you the arithmetic operator. They will ask you the floor division, and this one they will ask you what will be. Okay, logical operator. Everyone knows that and, or, and not. But what if how it behaves when you are dealing with an value and directly values? When you are dealing with the directly values, which one you are going to get it? And when you are comparing the values, also this plays a very vital role when we do it in the future. Okay. Now, next one is any questions, guys, over here. If you have any questions, please raise it. Or if you are not able to speak it, if you want me to explain it again, I can do it after the class. Now, then there is something called as assignment operator. What is an assignment operator? We will assign a value. Now you can see this. We have deal with this one. That is the assignment. What is the assignment operator, guys? Is equals to is assignment operator. Okay? Is equals to is assignment operator. As I told you in the starting, the assignment operator behavior. What is that? Anyone? When we started with the Python, I explained you the assignment operator behavior. And I said that we are going to cover this one also. Huh? Assignment, I didn't say. Kab se the? Okay, that's fine. So assignment operator always assigns a value to a variable. The first thing I said it. Always assigns a value to a variable. That's it. That means always right hand side will be a value or the source of the value that will be assigned to a variable. Remember that. That will be assigned to a variable. Now, this is the first nature of assignment operator. It always assigns value to a variable. Now, and right side, always there will be a value or the source of the value. Right side, value will be there or source of value. And left side should be a variable. It should be a variable. Remember this. Left side, always it should be a variable of the assignment operator. What I exactly mean over here is, if I am saying it, x is equals to x is equals to, I'm giving it as India over here. Now, which one is a value? India is a value. Now, which is a variable? X is a variable. Okay. Now, let's take it y is equals to, I'm going to get it USA. Which one is a value? USA is a value. Which is a variable? Y is a. Now, this is the value and this is the variable. Flow will be from right to left. Now, this one is a left and this one is a right. I'm taking from the right to left it is. Now, if you take it reversely, then it will be going in your direction. Here also in this direction, it is going to. Now, what I mean by source of the value. Source of the value means if you check it out over here down. Okay. Now, if I am giving it like y is equals to z. Sorry, y is equals to x. What is the value of actual y? USA. Actually, it is USA. What is the value of x? India. Now, what will happen over here? Here, how the value will flow? It will flow from here to here or here to here? X to y. Now, the y will be pointing out to India. and X is also pointing out to India because both the variables are having the same value. So both will be pointing out to the same memory location, right? Yes or no? That is a very much fundamental property. Like if both the variables are having the same value, they will be pointing out to the same memory location, India over here. Okay, clear? Now these are the two things. Now, first important property of the what you put it as assignment operator. The second important property is assignment operator is the last one to execute. Okay, assignment operator is the last one to execute. What I mean by this one is, if I am having, okay, there's a lot of messed up stuff. Okay. Now let me show you like this. If I am having A is equals to 9 and B is equals to like 18. Now, if I am saying A is equals to B, what is the value of A? 18. Value of A will be 18 over here because the flow will be from the right. Okay. Now, if I am saying it, if C is equals to A. Now, what is the value of A? C. Now, forget about this one. Don't think about this one. 9, right? Sure. Now, what is the value of C? So, why can't it be 9? So what? So, it can assign first and then it can add it, right? What's wrong? Because it... Yeah, here also now A is going from right to left only, I'm saying. This value is there, right? It is going from right to left, right? Right to left. Now, what my question is, why can't this happen and later on this happen? Addition. Sorry? PETMAS. Okay, you are saying that BODMAS. Yeah, that's right. So always, but in that BODMAS, where is the assignment? What is PETMAS? Parenthesis. B is brackets and P is parenthesis. Where is assignment over there? No assignment. That is only for the arithmetic things. Now here, that's what I said it, guys. Here, last one. Assignment operator will be executing at the last. Now here, this is if you are doing the lot of like 10 operators are there. All the 10 operators will be completed first, and then whatever the single value will be there, that will be assigned to the C. So first, whatever the operators are there on the right side will be completed first, and then the single value, whatever result they are going to get, that will be assigned to C. So what I mean to say is that it is the last one to execute. Assignment operator is last one to execute. Now, this is what is all about assignment operator. There are something extra is there. There's an incrementation of assignment operator, decrement using the assignment operator. We are going to look at that. Now, if I am having A is equals to 100, guys. Okay? If I am saying A is equals to 100 is there. Now, I'm saying B is equals to A plus 20. What is A? 100. What is the value of B? 120. B value is 120. Right? Now, this is not called as incrementation. No, this is not called as incrementation. We are assigning the value of A plus 20 into B. This is not an incrementation. When this is called as incrementation, when this actual value is incremented or increased and stored in the same variable, then it is called as incrementation. Increasing the variable value and storing in the same variable is called as incrementation. Over here, now if I do it something like this is incrementation. A is equals to A plus 20. What will happen? A is equals to what? 100. 100 plus 20. 120 is assigned to. Now, can you say which operator is executed first over here? Which operator is executed first? Plus. Plus operator is executed. Then later on, equals to, right? So this can be written as like this. A, which operator executed first? Plus. Then is equals to. Then 20. Okay, guys? So this is the way we will be writing in a short way. Now, if you want to write this way or this way, both will be the same. Okay. Now, when we will call it as incrementation, again, there's a lot of speculation is there. Any value which is increased is called as incrementation. No, that is not a call. That is not a like that. When the value inside the variable is increased and stored in the same variable, that is what is called as incrementation. Okay. If you check it out the Java, there is something like A++ will be there, right? A++ or C++, A++ will be there like that. Now that is nothing but you are increasing the original value of A with some number and storing in the same variable. This is called as incrementation. Now here, this is incrementation. This is assigning. This is simple assigning. This is the incrementation. You are taking the original value of A, you are adding some value into this, and what you are doing? You are assigning in the same, okay, same variable inside that. Now, this can be written as like this also. Okay, this is a short form of writing this way. Okay, you can perform all the arithmetic operators. If you want to subtract something from the A and I want to store it back into the A, then I will say that A minus, okay, let me write it like this. A is equals to A minus 40. What is the value of A? With this value, 100, not this one, with this one. So what will be coming into this? 60 will become. This can be written as A minus is equals to vertical run. Okay. 40. So this is what? Clear, guys? Now if you want to do the multiplication, A is equals to A into 5. I did it. What is the value of 100? It is 100. 100 into 5 is 500. Will be stored into A. Now this can be written as A star is equals to 5. This is what is called as in short way of writing. Now again, you may ask me like I will never, why we are learning this and I want to use only this. You can use it. Okay. Huh? Chesna? Fine method Chesna. చదవడం కాదు చేసినావా అన్న నేను కాంప్లిమెంట్ లాగా తీసుకుంటే ఇంకేం చేయలేను థ్యాంక్ యూ సో this will work definitely it will work. And you know why you have to learn this. See guys, developers will be two types. One, the guy who write the code for his sake, but that is a blunder. He is like a big blunder kind of guy. The good and the perfect developer is he writes the code not only for his sake, for the team's sake. Now you are in a project. Now never the project will be completed in 2 days or 3 days or 1 month or 2 months. It will go years together. Not only completion, after that there will be maintenance will be there. ఎట్లా మీరు బైక్ కొనగానే దాని మెయింటెనెన్స్ ఉంటుంది కదా every month we will take it to our mechanic to change the oil. The same way, every project what you are going to do, you should have the they should have the maintenance. And Big companies like Deloitte, IBM, Infosys, they implement the project. Okay, they will implement the project and they will give a maintenance for 6 months, like how you go for a bike, free services untega, three free services for like that. They will give you free maintenance for 6 months. After that, they will not do. They will say that no, we don't have time because they are very busy with the project's implementation. Then the smaller companies come into the picture. The smaller companies, which is very small, they are surviving, right? There's a lot of smaller companies are surviving. On what basis? They are basis on the maintenance only. They will do the maintenance of the project. Now, if as a developer, you are writing the code as per your knowledge and your comfortness, but you are not the one who is going to deal that one for rest of your life, right? There are other people will be doing it. So the writing the code is, again, you should always keep in mind of the other people. When the people who are reading it, they should be able to understand your code. That is what a good programmer will do it. They will put on the comments, they will put the documentation, they will use such kind of things. Some people may use it, some people may use it. If you don't know, then what you'll understand from that, you'll not get it anything. At least you should have knowledge that what that will get it. If you're not using, that is secondary. At least you should be able to read it. So that's the reason why it is very important that always follow the coding standards. They say that coding standards. So always recommended to follow the coding standard. That gives a very good impression about your coding. By looking at the code itself, you can say that, yeah, he's an experienced coder. Okay. So this is one of the coding standards. If you want to use it, if you're not going to use it, it's up to you. Again, it's your wish, but usually the people will follow it. Now, it's not that always you are the one who is going to write that. Sometimes you have to read the code also. Now, whenever I said that enhancement, what we are going to do it, the built-in code will be there. You are able to read that and you have to do that accordingly. Okay, that is what it is done. This is what, now you have a doubt, right? It will execute or not. A is equals to 100, guys. A is equals to A plus NP. Print A. Now, if I am doing A plus is equals to 30 over here, how much I have to get it? Output 150. 150 we are going to, because we already implemented over here. Push. Assign right side value to left side. Santosh, that's what I said it. I don't know, like you are asking a question or you are giving an answer. I must have asked the question. Okay. Okay, this is a way. Now you can do it whatever you wanted, guys, like this. If I wanted to, A is equals to A star is equals to 5, I'm doing. This is 150 into 5 it will, and it will assign it to A. Okay. Now you will say that print A. You want to get it? 750. Okay. So like this, you will be doing it. Now this is all about operators. Now there is one more called as special operator, guys. Special operators. Now the special operators are divided into two types. One is, I told you, identity. Second one, membership operator. So identity operator over here, under the identity operator, you will have the is operator. Now, is operator behaves very much similar to the is equals to operator. Okay, is equals to, double is equals to, when the comparison operator is there, it will behave very much similar to that. Now is operator. Now let me show you this. What is that? Identity. Okay. Now let me do this one, guys. A is equals to 100. B is equals to 100. Okay. Now if I am saying A is equals to B, what will be the output? will be the result will be 2. Because it's a comparison operator. Always the comparison operator gives us. Now don't get confused over here. This is the comparison operator. It is comparing and then it is assigning the value. And I will print it rest. Okay? Okay. Over here. Now the same thing I will get it when I'm using the is operator. When I'm using the is operator over here, you see it. So what is the difference between them? See, this one, it will compare the value. It will compare the value. This one, it will compare the location. So is operator will compare location. And the is equals to operator. We compare the value. Now, this is an important question will be asked, guys. This is again and very important. So what is the difference between is and is equals to operator? That is what. Now this will compare the value and this will compare the location. Now you see the value over here. Now value in A and in B. I'm printing the value over here and I'm printing the location also. How to get the location? ID of A. Now, when you do this, print ID of B. Here. Now, when I do this one, see this print separator, and I will run this one. Now you see this. Both the values are same. So first part equals to is true. Now both the address is same. So that's why is operator is true. Now this one is I will put it as equals to and this one will use it as is operator. Okay guys. Now let's run this one. Now the equal to is true. Now is operator is also true over here. Sorry, I got it wrong. This one should not be there. Here I will put it on. You see this. Equal to is true, is true. Okay. Now you may ask me a question over here. How you say that? Right? How you are saying that? So let's take it a list over here. First, this one. I will take the same A. I will comment this one. A is equal to 40. 400. Okay, this is a list. Okay, list is what data type, guys? Sequential. Okay, sequential data type will never follow the fundamental rules. Values are same. Values are same. So according to our equation, this should be true. Right? Is equals to should be true because it will compare the values. But this case should be false because whenever you're using the sequential data type, variables holding the same values will never point out to the same memory location. It will point out to the different memory locations. Now let's run this one. I run this one. Check it out, guys. Right? Now here the values are same, right? And here see the address. Address is same. No, the address is not same. Both are pointing out two different memory locations. Now this one is compares the value. Both the values are same, so it is giving us true. Whereas this one, it will compare the memory location. That is the reason why it is giving us the false. Okay, clear? Now this is like a very important thing over here. There is something called as is not. Is not means reverse. It's just we are saying that they both are not equal, right? They both are not at the same memory location. Then we are going to get it as a true over here. Okay. When it is, you will get it true. When you are getting is not, you will get it. Sorry, when you are using is, you will get the false. When you are getting is not, you will get the reverse of that. I'm going to give it over here. Here, this is a is and this is a is not. Okay, guys. Now here I will give it as 1 and few. This is operator 1 and is not. I will keep it as 2. Is not. Okay, guys. Here, any doubts? Why are showing different Why are showing a different ID? Different location. That's the nature. Having same elements in the both locations. What is the both the elements? If the same value, if they are integers, they will show us the same memory location. If they are not the integers, if it is a list, again I showed you very clearly how you get this one. How you get this one? 100. नहीं उसे बोलने दे यार. You want questions? I will ask. No problem. I don't have any partiality. Okay. Okay, what is the first one? 100. First 100 is what? This A100. How to get this one? Huh? A of 0, B of 0. The both are same memory location? Huh? They are. Question पूछा answer दो बस. Question मत पूछो फिर से. Because they are fundamental data type. Now see this, guys. I told you, showing you R. Previously, one example I told you R. Now see this. This one is clear, right? Here. Okay, you got the doubt from that only. See this. Just keeping it down, guys. Now, what is the type of A? Type of A? List. This list. That means it will give us the data type, right? You know this. Now here, if I'm saying type of B, yes, both are sequential data type. Okay, what is the nature of the sequential data type? It will hold the multiple values, and all the values will be stored in a series of internal memory location, which are identified or indicated by indexing concept, right? Now, when I'm saying it like this, A of 0, what are you going to get it? 100. Good. Then type of A of 0. What is this? Is this a list? Int. Right? This is an int. Now let's do that. Let's print it. I get an int. Right? Now let's take the other one. We'll copy this one. B of 0 and B of type of B of 0. What is this? Huh? I'm asking B of 0. Integer, right? It's an integer. This is an integer and this is also an integer. What is the value? 100. So let's print it. Okay. Now, what is the nature of the fundamental data type? If the variables are having the same values pointing out to the same memory location. What is the variable name of 100 over here? A of 0. What is the variable of 100? Another 100? B of 0. Both will be pointing out to same memory location? Yes or no? Print ID of A of 0. Okay. Print ID of B of 0. Let's see that. It should be showing us the same memory location. Okay. Okay. What is your question? Intelligent. Okay. Guys. Clear? This is the identity. Now, the question you may get it over here is, this is a very common question. If you are a fresher or you are going with 1 to 2 years experience, they will definitely ask the question, this one. What is the difference between is operator and is equals to operator? Not only like you can't, they will say that to show it, not to on the system, show it on the paper or the whiteboard. There will be a whiteboard. They want you to write it like this. What is a program? So this is the program you have to write. Okay? Because the list is a sequential data type. So sequential data type, if the same values are there, they will never share the same memory location. They are in the 2 different memory locations. Okay, remember that. Again, this is an integer. Inside it is an integer, right? They are integer over here. Now, suppose if I'm doing it x is equals to 100, guys. Now, this x ID will be same. Yes, the nature is that, right? What is the 3 variables holding the 100 now? X is a 1, A of 0, and B of 0. Now, 3 are holding the same memory, same variables, so they are pointing out to the same memory location. That is the nature, actually. Okay. Now, because of this one only, the Python is very, very effective in memory management. I showed you on the other day also. If you are writing a white paper, I mean, says research paper of 5,000 words, but still the memory what you are going to occupy is 26 bytes only. If you are using only the characters, 26 bytes only, not more than that. Even though the 5,000 words are there, because the same values will be occupying the same memory location. Okay, Babu. Now, there is one more called as membership operator, guys. The membership is in operator is called as membership operator. In, not in. Both comes under this one. In is very, very important, not in reverse case. In is very, very important. What is the use of in is, it is going to identify a particular value is there inside the sequence or anywhere inside that we are going to do it. Now, for example, if I'm going to take it, now we took it a list, right? List 1 over here. Have list 1 over here. List 1. This is my values. Okay, clear, guys? Now, I want to find out that inside this list, there is 100 is there or not, or 200 or 300 is there or not. Or how I will do it? 300 in L1. Simple, just like, you know, if I want to know that if someone is there inside the class, if suppose anyone, so you can say that give that name in the class or not, right? The same way, 300 is in L1. L1 is a list. I'm using it. What if it is there? It will give us true. If it is not there, it will give us false. I will give it as result. And result. Okay. True. Okay. Now, if I am doing it 30, is there? No, it's not there. It's not only like this, guys. You can see this like I'm having list 2 is equals to, I'm keeping it like orange, apple, and mango. Okay. Now, here, if I am saying it, see this, try to understand this. Orange in L2. Yes, true. 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 Okay, now forget about the first one. That is true over here. This is what is. Okay. Now, if I am giving it something like this, orange in L2, false. False. orange dot upper. Is this happening? It is converting the orange to the uppercase, and later on it is checking it out. Now this case you will get it. Okay, you got it right. How and where you have to use the uppercase. So this is the way it will be. Now say me. O in or A in L2 of 0. What is L2 of 0? Orange. In the orange, A is there? So why you are saying false? Huh? I'm not asking that. Is there A inside the orange? Yes, it is there. So it's not mandatory that each and every character should match. Okay. Now, I will tell you why I give it true. It is. So what exactly happening is this will be effectively working with sequential data type only, not with the integer. Okay. Now I will show you one more here. Result is equal to 2. Okay, sorry, 2 in 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. What will be the output? बढ़िया सेलेक्ट हो गए क्या हुआ what happened what is iterable सर हाँ आपको ही यूपी बताइए iterable बोल दो I know everything is an object in the Python. What is iterate? Read. Okay. See, iterable is simply, okay, I will explain this when we are dealing with the for loop. Iterable is simply sequential data. In other words, sequential data. Now here, is this a sequential data type? What is this? Huh? Yeah, fundamental data type. What is this? Integer. Okay. What is this? Integer. Okay. Now, if I want to make this as a sequential data type, what I have to do it? Not only list is not only one. The other one we discussed. What is a sequential data type? String. Convert this one into string. Convert this one into string. And then this will become a sequential data type. Now you look for 2 over here. This should be 2. Okay, 2. Now you will get it 2. Got it? Now only thing is you can in operator especially used in the sequential data type only. Remember that in operator can be used with the sequential data type only. Remember that. Okay. Now here this is now coming down to this one. Orange. When you say that orange, so if I say that G in orange, orange is what type? What is the data type of orange? String type. String is having a properties of sequential also. So each and every character is stored in a series of internal memory location. So G is there inside this one? Yes. So that is what it is. That's what I did it over here. Now L2 of 0 is nothing. This is orange. Okay. This orange is a string. String is a sequential data type. So you can find it over here. This is also you are going to get it true. Okay. Clear, guys? Now, what is a vowel? A-E-I-O-U. Let me keep it in the quotes. Now I want to find out a particular word which is entered is an vowel or not, vowel or not. So I'm just commenting this one, guys. Okay. Now I'm taking a word from the user, enter a word. So I will say word W is equals to input, enter a character. I will say enter a character. Know it whether it is vowel or not. Okay. Now I want to find out whether that is a vowel or not. I will say it as C. I'll do it. C in vowel. Will it get you? The result is equal. Result is equal. So I will print the result. This is a small program we are writing. This we can write it very effectively. Now I will give it over here. Here I will say it as A. False. Is a vowel, right? Kya hua phir? So I want this one to be identified. Then upper, lower. This convert into lower. Because I'm comparing with the lower, right? All of them are lower over here. So I have to convert it to lower, not to keep the upper. So compare it to lower, not lower. Now you see this, you are going to get it. Okay, guys, if I am using like G, what is this? Vowel? No, false. Now if I run this one, I will use a C, A. Vowel. True. Got it? So this is the way you can deal with things. Now, not in means if it is not there inside. Okay, if it is not there inside, I will use it not in. Not in. Not in means it will say, okay, let me copy this. Comment it. Here I will say that not in. Not in. That means it will check it out whether the value what is given is not a vowel. So it will give us true if it is not a vowel, and if it is false, it is if it is a vowel. Reverse, guys, just reverse. If I am giving X, it's true. It is not a vowel at all. So if I am giving it Z, it is not a vowel. True, all the cases. Okay, clear? Now this is all about the operators of members special operator. Now in this, the in is used very, very frequently. We are going to use it in the for loop, like anything we are going to use the in operator. So always remember that the in will deal with a iterable. There is an iterator, iterable, and iteration. There are three terms are there that we are going to discuss it in the future. So this is what it is, guys. That's correct. What you said is. There is something called as bitwise operator, guys. Bitwise operator. Okay. So again, the bitwise operators are and. So they will call it as bitwise and bitwise or okay, bitwise XOR, bitwise complement, and bitwise left shift and bitwise right shift. They are shown in this way. Usually they indicate it as and or is indicated as pipe symbol. This is a pipe symbol. Single confusion yes no. Okay, now this is again the complement is a bit difficult, guys, over here. This is this one is called as complement. Like this, it will be complement. Okay, now left shift is and right shift is this. Okay. And what is a bitwise operators? We will never use it in our daily programs. Again, remember this, as I told you, there are three things we are never going to use it. One is the forms of the integer, no way. Second is complex, no way. And third is bitwise, we are not going to use it. When you will be using it, whenever you are going to alter the algorithms, when you will be doing that, when you are doing with the research work, then you will be doing that, guys. Okay, whenever you are doing the research work, you are going to alter the algorithms. That time, when you are a researcher inside a research team, then you will be using this bitwise and complement and complex and that forms. So in this, a simple nutshell way, now we are directly implementing the operators directly on the values, integer values. In this case, we are going to convert the integer values into binary value, and then we are going to apply it. Okay, we are going to convert existing normal decimal values. We are going to convert it into binary value, and then we are going to implement the bitwise operators. So bitwise operators is specially implemented on the binary form of the value. Remember that, on the binary form of the value. Now, how this will be working is, again, it will be, it's just like the basic logic behind this is for logical and. Logical and, we have seen it, right? When the two, what it will do, it will take the output of the conditional statements and it will give us, it will implement and or on that. And if both are all are true, then only you will get the true. Otherwise, you will get the false. Okay, all the other cases. In this case, we are not going to use it directly the value. We are going to convert the value into binary form. Binary form means 0 and 1. Okay, so you're going to convert into the binary format and you're going to implement and or X or something like that. So how it will work? Now, if you check it out, true and true. And is which operator, guys? Logical. And or and is what? And so true and true is equals to true, we are going to do, right? Now the same thing, when I want to do it with bitwise operator, I will use it 1 and 1 and 1. You will get it as 1. If you use it 1 and 0, then what we are going to get it? 0. Okay, it's like multiplication, how you do the multiplication. 0 and 1 is equals to 0. You're going to get it 0. Okay? And 0 into 0, 0. 0 and 0 is equals to 0. Okay? This is the way you're going to get it. Now, let's take a small example. Now, we are having 4 and 5. What is the binary form of 4? 100. What is the binary form of 5? 101. So when you are doing the AND operator, you are going to do it like this, guys. 101, 100 by 101. So just check it out. 0 and 1. 0 and 1 is 0. So we are going to get it output as 0. First one, we got it as 0 over here. Okay. Next one, next 0 and 0 is 0 again. 1 and 1 is 1. So 1 0 0 is nothing but 4. You get the 4 over here. Like this, you are going to get the 4. Okay. Now this is the way we are going to do it. Now let's take it the one more example. Let's take the 8 and 9. 8 and 9 and 10 or 9. 9, what is a 9? 1 0 0 1 and 10 1 0 1 0. Right? Now when I perform the AND operator, guys, 1 0 0 1 and 29 in the 1 0 1 0. Okay. So first one 1 0. 1 and 0 means 0. We are going to get it as 0. Next one is 0. Next one 0. Next one, what is this value? 8. You are going to get it 8. This you are going to. Okay. Write out. Okay. Now there is something called as OR operator. Now the OR operator, it is a reverse of this one. Okay. I'm going to keep it over here. The OR is there, true or false is there, and we are going to get it as true. Or false or true is equals to true. When you are going to get the false, false or false. This is the only scenario where we are going to get the false. Okay. Now if I want to do it over here, 1 or okay, if you want to execute, let's execute these things over here and operator. Now let's take it as 4 and 5. I'll give it in the result. I'll print it. We are going to get it 4. You should get it 4. Actually, it is converting this one into binary form and applying the operator and single and double and. Now, next one, if you are going to do the other one, guys, say 8 and or maybe like 15. It's nothing to do with the left side and right side. Don't be in that speculation. It's nothing to do with the left side and right side. So it will be varying purely based on the calculation. Now, if I'm giving 15 and 10, let's see this. I will getting a altogether different number over here. 10. Okay. If I'm going to take it as like 12, it's a pure coincidence, guys. Don't think like that. 9, 10, best example. 8. Okay. So previous ones were pure coincidence. Don't think the left side or right side. Now this is the way it will be. Now let's do the OR operator. Now is equals to, I will say that 6 or is or and 7. Now I'm going to print it. Okay. So when I'm doing this, now I'm going to comment this one. 7, we got it. Okay. Now how we got this 7 means, again guys, this is the way it will be. 1 or 0, you will be getting 1. Remember this. 0 or 1. or 1 is equals to 1. Both the cases you are going to 0 or 0 is equals to the only case we are going to get the 0. Okay. Now let's deal with this 6 and 7. That is 1 0 for 1 1 0 and 1 1 1. Okay. This is 6 and this is 7. So right. Now this one is first one we will get it 1 1 and 1. That is nothing but 7 we are going to get it. So if you are going to deal with like 1 0 0 1, this is 9 1 0 1 0, then what we are going to get it 1 0 1 1. What is this? 11. Is it 11? Okay, let me write down that. 9 and 10, right? You should get it something like this. 11. Okay, so we got it something like this. Now there is one more one is called as XOR. This is also called as caret symbol. XOR is nothing but it will be working whenever the non-similar values are there. Then we are going to get it true, that is 1. And when the similar values are there, you're going to get 0. Like for example, 1 cap 1. This is both are similar. So what you are going to get it? 0. Okay? We are having 1 cap 0. You are going to get the output as 1. So when the non-similar values are compared, 1 and 0, then you are going to get as output as 1. When the similar values are compared, you are going to get it output as 0. Okay? Clear, guys? Now let's do this one. Now I will say it as like 9 and 10. Let's do this one result. And result. Now you are going to get it 3 over here. Okay. Now we are getting it 1001 and 1010. See, this one is 0, this one is 0, this one is 1 and 1. Okay. So you will be getting something like this, guys. First one, you got it 1. Second one, you will get the 1. Next one, 0 and 0. This is nothing but 3. Okay. Now, these are the common things, guys. Now, let's deal with the next one, complement. See, complement is implemented in the two phases. That is 1's complement and 2's complement. If you know it, the mathematically it is derived. In a simple way, how we will do it is, if the value is x, guys, just think that your value is x. We are going to see what is a 1's complement and what is a 2's complement. If the value is x, then when you apply the complement, what you are going to get it is minus of x plus 1. This is what you are going to get. Minus of x plus 1. Whenever x is the value you are given. If you have x as a value, then when you see the complement, you will get it something like this. That is, if you are giving it like, let me show you over here. I'm going to explain you how it works. X is equals to, I'm taking it as x is equals to 10. So if I print it, sorry, if I give it the, it's a unary operator, unit of x, and put it in the result. So you are going to get it minus 11. Okay, minus 11 over here. So if you are having something like x is equals to, okay, here if you are going to keep it minus 10, then what we are going to get it? Plus 9. So this is the one. Now, how this will be working is, first step, you are going to reverse the sign. You will reverse the sign. Second step, you are going to add 1 to that. Okay, there will be 2 complements will be there. First complements is reverse the sign. Second step, add 1 to that. That is what the 2 ways we are going to go. First step, we are going to reverse the sign. And next step, we are going to add 1 to the existing value. That is how it will be going on. This is a 2 complement. So if you are going to take it 4, like 4 is equals to, how much it is? 100. So first step is we are going to make it minus 100. Next step, we are going to make it 1 over here. Add 1. So when you add 1, so what will be the output? 1 minus 101. Minus 101 is nothing but minus 5. Minus 101. You'll be getting like this. 1, 0 and 1, and the sign is, first step is reverse the sign, whatever it is. Then second step, add 1 to that. So if you check it out over here, 4, you get it minus 5. That is what it is, minus 5. Guys, the first step, you are going to apply the reversing of the like reverse of the sign. Second step, add 1 to that. Okay. Now the next one is, again, I'm saying you're not going to use this one anywhere. If you're not getting also, it's okay. So this is, you're going to shift values left side. Okay, you're going to shift the values left side. Here we are going to shift the values towards the right side. Now, what does that exactly mean is, if I am having something like this, 5 left shift 2, means whatever the 5 value is there in the binary, 5 value is there, that has to be shifted 2 places towards the left side. So how it will be? 1, 0, 1, right? This I have to shift it to the left side 2 places. So 1, 0, 1, and if you shift it, there will be 2 places empty on the right side. So you will be getting it like this. Okay, in a simple way, let me show you. You will understand in a much better way like this. Here I have it 1, 0, 1, guys. Okay. Now this one, what I will do it, I will shift 2 places towards the right. Now I will take it as, now you are having 2 places towards the right. I'm going to shift it. Now this is the 1 place, 2 place, 3, 4 and 5. This one will move 2 places towards the right. This, it will come down. This one will move towards the right, left, sorry. This one will move towards the left. All these things comes 1, 0, 1. What about these 2 places then? This we are going to fill up with 0. Now what you are going to get it? 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. I don't know. Use the bin operator and you will get it. Bin of 0B 10100. When you print it, you will be getting the output over here. Sorry. Getting it here. Okay. So this is the way you will be getting it. And one more thing, whenever you're using the left shift operator, guys, always the resultant value will be more than the existing value. Whatever the given value will be there, always the resultant value will be more than that. Now, if you want to check it out some other over here, like we are having 5 left shift 2. Okay, same thing I'm doing it. I'm printing it over here. I'll use the result and I will print the result. Now, if you are going to do this, save. Now you want to convert this 20 into bin of 20. You do this and you're going to get it 10100. 10100. That's what we got it over here. Okay. If you take any one, also you will face the same problem. Now, if you are having like 4-digit number, let's take the 4-digit number like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 0, 1, 0. This is a 10. Now I want to shift it. 10. I want to left shift 3 places. So this will be 4 digits, 4 places. You keep the 4 places as it is, and I'm adding extra 3 places over here. That is 3 places we are going to shift it, each value. This value will be coming towards this left side 3 places. This will be coming over here. This will come over here, and this will come over here. Now, whatever the rest of all? Zeros. This is the one you're going to get. Now, if you take it out, 80. I'm going to get as result is equal to 10 3. If you want to see what exactly it looks like, use the bin function and you are going to get it. Okay, guys. Now the same way the right shift means take the values, shift towards the right. That means just cut off the values. Though always when you are doing the right shift, the resultant value will be always small than the actual value. Now when I'm doing this, if I'm doing 10 right shift 2, guys, I'm doing this 10 right shift 2. How it will work is 10 is 1010. Okay. Now right shift 2 means remove these 2 places. Then you will be having only 10. Okay. The output will be 10 only. Now, if you take it out, we'll give it over here resultant this one. And right shift 2. Now, when I do this, okay, let me comment this one. We're getting it. Okay, now, okay, sorry. It will be 2. 2. Okay, you'll be getting it 2. The same way, now if you take any number, the same thing happens, guys. If you take it a bigger number like, we have a number, right? Just now we did it over here, this one. 101000. This one is what? 80. The 80 right shift 3 places. So how much you are going to get it? These 3 are cut off. So how much is left out? 10. 10 will be coming up. That is 1010 is 10. The same thing you will be getting it over here. 80. 3. And you should get 10 over here. Okay, guys. This is the way the binary operators will be working on. Again, if you are having any doubt on this, you can raise it. We can deal with it. This is the end of the binary operator. All the operators, like, we took it like almost all the fundamentals and everything. We took it like around a week's time. And next, like the major thing, what is required for us from the data science prospects, I'm going to take it and I'm going to compare it each and every time with our data science data, how we are going to do it. Now, how we did it with the in operator, how we did it with all these things, we are going to do the same thing. And there are something is there, like I told you, the list comprehension, the lambda function, which are very, very powerful, and how to scrape the PDF file and how to create a CSV file. We are going to concentrate a lot on. That is what the thing is. So we will be moving into the main programming control flow statements, and we will be finishing off, guys. Okay. So I will stop the class over here and we can move off. I think that there are some questions are there.